Hello, my creative friends. I'm Heather North from heatherscreativeblessings.com. I have a card today that I'm making for Christmas, but really it can be used all year long by changing the sentiments for any kind of masculine card you might need. I'm using the Color Layering Deer by Hero Arts, and on the back of the packaging it shows you how to layer these stamps to get a more dimensional image. There's lots of little images that layer together, and you start with the lightest color on the bottom. You stamp that first, and then you move on to your darker colors as you go. I'm starting with some Crumb Cake ink by Stampin' Up! And my brand new mini Misty. My friend Christy introduced me to this little guy, and I think it's just fabulous. It's a perfect size for card makers, and it fits in the screen for my videoing better than the regular Misty that I already had. I'll talk more about that in a separate video. Anyways, I started with the solid image, and now I'm going to the second image, and like I said, the packaging shows you which order to stamp it in, and I'm going to go back in with my Crumb Cake ink. So this is the same color ink, and I'm just going to stamp it a couple of times, and it will make this image just a little bit darker, and you can see that added in some shadowing just by stamping it a couple of times. I'm going to take the next image, and this time I'm going to ink it up in soft suede ink. For these final layers on the deer, I'm going to be using Early Espresso ink. This is the details on the legs and the hooves and the deer's eyes. That was my darkest color, and I just cleaned this off with my absorber. It's my favorite way to clean off stamps. Here's the back of the packaging that shows you exactly how you can layer your deer, and it also gives you some ideas for decorating his antlers. I just inked it up in Crumb Cake ink, and then I thought it was too light, so I took my soft suede ink and stamped it again. It's one of the things I love about the Misty is the stamp does not move positions, and the magnets hold the paper in place so that you get the perfectly stamped image every time, even if you're stamping over it. Now I could have added some ornaments here, but I decided I wanted to just keep him very realistic and very natural. You can also use the dies here and die cut it out. I didn't for this particular card. I'm going to use my Copic marker, and I'll have a supply list down below, by the way. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm not an artist, not in the sense of being able to draw, because I really can't. But what I can do is scribble. So to ground this image, I just scribbled below it, kind of in the similar shape to where it's at, and that's my snow. And then I outlined it. I just kind of drew around it. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's a very light Copic color, and that gives it just a little bit of depth. It works. Since this is a Christmas card, I took my sentiment from the Winter Wonderland from W+9. But just imagine this said Happy Father's Day, or Get Well Soon, or Thinking of You, or Happy Birthday, and it could be a card for any man any time of year. I was going to just stamp this on its own, but I decided I didn't want to mess it up at this point, and this is where I would partially stamp and not fully stamp. So I have my mini Misty out. I might as well use it, and because I used it, I was able to line this up perfectly so that the sentiment fits in the crook of the back and the crook of the neck. Isn't that awesome? I then took it to my stamp room and die cut it using the birthday journal tag from Sugar Pea Designs. I also cut out the scallop tag that goes along with that in Crumb Cake, but I ended up not using it on my card. I might use it on my next one. And really this worked with all of the papers that I pulled out. It's a nice neutral because it's just browns. But I decided to go with this green one. It kind of reminded me of wallpaper and wreaths. So I cut it down just a smidge smaller than a card front, so 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm going to just attach it to regular card base. Same paper that I used for the, I just noticed I have a boo-boo on there. I must have had red ink on my fingers. Anyways, the same card base color as I used for the deer piece. And I'm just going to adhere it flat on there. This makes it a nice, easy card to send because it's fairly flat. It'll go right through the mail. And that's my Christmas deer card. Isn't it beautiful? I just love the depth and dimension you get and shading with this stamp set. It's amazing. I made a stepped up version of this card that I'll be sharing with you next week. So make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you guys find some time today to get creative. Bye!